I'm Diana Kanecki. I'd like to present a seminar on creative writing and creativity. Some of the sources that I've used have included Robert Pinsky, the Poet Laureate for the United States. One of the books is Robert Pinsky Selected Poems. Some notes I'd like to mention from the book are that poetry is basically modern poetry reflects social consciousness, perception, as well as a reflection of, as well as feelings as personification. For example, feelings as personification, a poem should be wordless as the flight of a bird. A poem should be motionless in time as the moon climbs. And this is an example of discussing poetry in personification, as well as persistence. Modern poetry has a form of persistence. A poem should be equal, not time, for all the high history of grief, an empty doorway and maple leaf, for love, the learning glowing and two lights above. A poem should not near but be. Well, what that means is it's similar to what I try to do sometimes in open mic, and that making the poem sort of expressing a reality or expressing a feeling onto itself as a personification. Another thing to consider, though, is also descriptive. For example, if someone would ask someone what they thought of a certain event, someone may say, well, I like it. A poet will say, I did appreciate it. And the reason why poets say it that way is what happens, the event is, he or she will mention an event as the way a person would mention the event, as a person or having feelings. Now, in poetry, poetry is basically a lot like creativity that you'd use in computer programming, developing new ideas. It's the same thing. Meter, flow. It's not exactly like old-time poetry of contrived rhyme. It's a different form where basically you do different things. And so what happens in creativity, sometimes it's choppy, sometimes it's disruptive. And many times it's how you develop things. But to go on, I like to mention that what happens with Robert Pinsky, some of his works I think are very much set forth to explain different things. As to in the book, The Situation of Poetry, some topics he discussed are earnestness, wonder, as I mentioned, I did appreciate, romantic persistence, discourse and abstract diction. For example, in the 30th year of my life, I took my heart to be my wife, and as I turned my bed by night, I have my heart for my delight. No other heart may mind the strange, for my heart changes as I change. As it's bound, as I'm free, and with my death of it dies in me. What happens, it's clipped, it's ironic, it's used to describe a different set of feelings and sentiments.